Where Dumbledore makes the students sing karaoke. Are you ready to see Aunt Petunia's better side? And why did film editors ruthlessly delete this moment from the series? And which 3 seconds long unreleased scene showed Draco Malfoy's eventual redemption? Hi, I'm Dylan. Let's start. Dumbledore making students sing karaoke. In The Goblet of Fire, we see the students of the Durmstrang Institute and Beauxbaton's Academy of Magic doing their performances when they arrived at Hogwarts. But, for some reason, the students of Hogwarts didn't perform anything for their guests. Does this mean that the hosts didn't have to do anything at the beginning of the Triwizard Tournament? No, they actually did a performance too. We just didn't get to see it.
Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hoggy Hogwarts, teach us something, please.
Well, it's not that this scene has any particular meaning, but it would have been fun to watch something so lighthearted in a mostly dark movie. Besides, seeing Professor Dumbledore conducting a choir and Hogwarts students chanting is something extraordinary. The funniest thing was Draco Malfoy's face while singing. It looked like he was forced to do it with some sort of a curse. We can guess that this scene ended up on the cutting room floor just because there were quite a few other musical moments in the film. But we'd still enjoy watching it in the cinemas. If this scene doesn't surprise you, there's one more deleted bit with Draco Malfoy that will totally blow your mind. So keep watching. Harry's obsession with the Mirror of Erised. He always dearly missed his parents, and the first part of the franchise showed it exceptionally well. A deleted scene from the Sorcerer's Stone revealed just how much Harry struggled when he couldn't stop thinking about the Mirror of Erised while everyone else had fun at Christmas. The mirror showed him the life he always wanted, with his parents beside him. So it's no wonder that he got kind of addicted to it. This scene, which was only in the extended version, shows how much he was thinking about it.
Harry, I know what you're thinking, but don't. There's something not right about that mirror.
Of course, we know that Harry didn't listen to Ron and still went to see his family in the mirror. It's quite a simple scene, but it actually shows us Harry as a deeper character who's still struggling to cope with his loss. And we have to admit that Daniel Radcliffe plays this scene absolutely perfectly. But not all the deleted scenes in this series were so sad. Let's take this one for example. Do sneakoscopes tell the truth? In a deleted scene from The Prisoner of Azkaban, Ron can't stop raving about the magical village of Hogsmeade. He stops when he realizes that Harry wanted to come but couldn't because he didn't get permission from his legal guardians, and also because at that time everyone thought that Sirius Black was looking for Harry to kill him. When Ron finally stops gushing over how great the shops in Hogsmeade were, he gives Harry a present he got for him, a sneakoscope.
I got you something wicked at Dervish and Banks. It's a pocket sneakoscope. If there's anyone untrustworthy around, it's meant to light up and spin.
It's a magical device that starts spinning and whistling when someone untrustworthy is nearby. Everyone thought it wasn't working because it wouldn't stop spinning when Harry's friends were around. But the thing is, it worked. Scabbers, Ron's pet rat, turned out to be the traitor Peter Pettigrew, who was there at the time, and the sneakoscope knew that he couldn't be trusted. Quite a nice foreshadowing, huh? How much Harry missed Sirius. The Order of the Phoenix had one of the darkest moments for Harry, the death of his beloved godfather, Sirius Black. It was a dramatic moment, but the movie didn't really show just how hard it was for Harry to come to terms with what happened. In a deleted scene, Ron comes to Harry to ask whether he wants to join them for the feast.
Feast's about to start.
Thanks, Ron. I'm not really in the mood.
Including this scene would make the movie so much better. It would give us a much-needed moment to grieve the death of the beloved character, and probably it would also help us cope with his loss a bit better. The scene also shows how supportive Harry's friends are. Their eyes say it all about what they are feeling in that moment, don't they? And now let's talk about another silent deleted scene that had a ton of meaning. The great foreshadowing. The Goblet of Fire bit with the singing Hogwarts students wasn't the only unreleased musical scene in the series. Another one was in The Half-Blood Prince, and this one is much more foreboding. In this scene, Professor Flitwick conducts the choir of students who sing a hauntingly beautiful and somber song. Many of the characters, including Ron and Hermione, are looking into the ominous dark sky above, and Professor McGonagall urges everyone to go to their houses. But the critical part that was deleted shows us Severus Snape in deep thought. The potions professor is aware of the troubles to come, and he knows that he's going to have to implement a challenging and terrifying task. Everything about this scene is perfect, from the gloomy music to the lighting. It creates an incredible ambience and shows us how troubled Snape is by what's going to happen, and it also works very well as a foreshadowing of the dark times. The Dursleys weren't that bad. We all know that Harry's so-called family treated him awfully, but they were still his family, and he wanted to protect them from Voldemort and the Death Eaters. At the beginning of the Deathly Hallows Part 1, they have to leave their house and hide from the Death Lord. In the movie, we don't see them talking to Harry at all, and it actually seems strange that they didn't at least rail at the boy for forcing them to go away. And it turns out that 2 crucial scenes ended up on the cutting room floor. In one of them, Harry says to Aunt Petunia, who's hesitating to leave the house that she's lived in for 20 years, "They'll torture you. If they think for a moment you know where I'm going, they'll stop at nothing." And Aunt Petunia interrupts him, saying that she knows what they're capable of.
You didn't just lose a mother that night in Godric's Hollow, you know.
And what she says next will shock you.
I lost a sister.
It gives us a glimpse into Mrs. Dursley's humane side we never even knew existed. And when Harry says goodbye to Dudley in another deleted scene, his cousin doesn't bully or abuse him. Instead, he shakes his hand with words that show that Dudley's a human being, not a monster.
I don't think you're a waste of space.
And this awkward but touching moment was followed by Harry's words of farewell.
See you, Big D.
I mean, I know that with these scenes, the movie would be longer, but wasn't it necessary to show us the only time ever that the Dursleys were actually nice to Harry? Jeez. Deathly Hallows, a bit normalized. The final parts of the series were all dark and gloomy. There were almost no funny or heartwarming moments, only the desperate chase for the Horcruxes and the constant fear that the main trio would be caught by the Death Eaters. But in fact, one of the parts was supposed to show us at least one scene where the lead characters behave like normal teenagers. Because, I mean, they were still just teenagers despite their mission to save the world. And in this deleted scene, Ron teaches Hermione to skim stones. Yes, you heard that right. In the middle of all the darkness, there were a few moments of light. This scene is adorable, and not just because it shows us the only time Hermione is bad at something.
So what, kind of like that?
No.
It also shows the closeness between the two characters and their growing affection for each other.
Just so I'm back then.
Can't see why we didn't get to watch just one moment of normality in the Deathly Hallows. Final moments with Remus and Tonks. Prepare to cry over this one. We all loved Remus and Tonks, and it was heartbreaking to see them fall in the Battle of Hogwarts. But we didn't get to watch their final meeting that showed just how much these two loved each other. Despite Remus telling Tonks to stay at home with their son, she comes to fight alongside her husband.
It's you that needs me tonight.
This moment is so sweet, and it's also heartbreaking because we know that it's the last time they talk to each other. And it would have been so much better to see it in the film instead of just watching them dead on the floor. Okay. We've cried enough. So before we get to the most important deleted moment, let's go back in time for a bit and watch a funny and cute unreleased scene from the first Harry Potter film. A bit more of Hermione's brilliance. Well, Hermione frequently showed us what a diligent student she was. The gal even considered being expelled to be worse than being dead, remember? There were countless scenes where she was the smartest of all, but this particular scene was quite cute, so it's sad that it was cut. In the Sorcerer's Stone, the trio are preparing for their exams, and Hermione asks Ron a question.
What are the 3 most crucial ingredients in a forgetfulness potion? Forgot.
Forgetting the ingredients of a forgetfulness potion. Isn't it ironic? Looks like Ron needs this kind of potion in his life, but he has a plan for the exams.
And what, may I ask, do you plan to do if this comes up in the final exam?
Copy off you?
No, you won't.
Can you believe how categorical Hermione was in her reply? She'd never want anyone to copy her work. That's how diligent a student she was. And now, let's proceed to the deleted scene that might make you hate the editing team of the Harry Potter movies. Draco's redemption scene. In the beginning, most Harry Potter fans despised Malfoy, but by the end, many of us realized that he wasn't that bad. His parents taught him about the supremacy of pureblood wizards and pressured him to do many things he would never do otherwise. In the final films, we started to see another side of Draco, like when he couldn't kill Dumbledore and when he didn't say that he recognized Harry after the trio was caught. He wasn't a bad person, and he never really wanted to hurt Harry. And this deleted scene could finally redeem him in the eyes of everyone at Hogwarts. Did you even see what happened there? The moment he realizes that Harry is alive, Draco runs to the side of Hogwarts and throws Harry a wand, with which the boy who lived finally defeats the Dark Lord. I mean, Harry didn't even have a wand with him then, right? And you might have wondered where he got one. Well, that's where. Draco gave it to him. Now, we can only wonder why it was necessary to cut this scene. It perfectly redeems Malfoy, and it would only make the film 3 seconds longer. Mind-blowing, right? Which ones of these scenes do you think wasn't important, and which ones should have never been cut? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay awesome. Thanks for watching.